Welcome back to LG Rooster. I am your host, Papa Almo, and today we have episode 2, The Art of Leading. So, how is leadership an art? All right, we're not talking about paintings, we're not talking about uh, nothing Picasso ish, right? We're talking about the principles that are behind your leadership style. Okay, so we have leadership styles, we have leadership principles. On episode 1, we talked about how a leader could be a leader or it could be a manager, right? So, how is that fixate on their principles and values? First off, we talk about leading, coaching, and mentoring. But I want to go deeper into what I like to call TCP. I got this term from one of my mentors, a good friend of mine, and he uses TCP in everything he does. And as a good mentee, I picked up on those values and subconsciously I started using them myself, right? Because like we talked in episode 1, you want to make those you lead better than you, or you, maybe one day, right? So TCP, teach, challenge, and prepare, right? When you have a team, maybe a section, a group within that organization, right? You teach to a standard, right? A standard becomes norm. A standard becomes what they uphold and they work towards. Okay? With that, that norm plays into the challenges that come within performing that task. Performing that task, allowing that job to be either as easy or as hard as it may need to be. Right? Performing that task allows them to challenge each other and work towards finding a way to make that better. But if you are cutting corners in order to accomplish a task, you're losing face and value of not just the organization, but yourself as a leader. But you need to prepare. So what are we preparing for? We're preparing for the next challenge ahead. We may get through task A into task B, but how do we get into task C? How do we keep going? How do we allow that momentum, that educational piece, how do we allow that to push us into becoming better than when we started? That's what we prepare for. We prepare for the next piece because even though we are done right here, does not mean the job is completely done. And as a leader, you are never going to be done. We talk about teach, challenge, prepare, right? But how does that look? What does that look like? As a leader, everybody has their own style. Everybody has a personality, right? When you think about your organization and where you work at, there are names that come to mind that pop out, right? Some for good, some for bad. Whatever that reason may be, those names are ingrained in your brain for a reason. They are genuine to an extent, or maybe they are not. That genuineness means that whatever works for me as a leader does not necessarily mean that it may work for you. You understanding that as an individual, a team member, a part of that organization at the lowest level will allow you to become your own leader in a way and develop your leadership principles. They don't have to be the same principles that your organization has. They do have to match up though. But once you find your leadership style and those principles match, you will lead genuinely from within. Because what you are doing is driven by your morals, often referred to as your moral compass, that allows you to teach, challenge, and prepare in your own way. You see how I talk about team at the lowest level? The reason I mention team at the lowest level is because when you have a team, maybe a small team of 4 members, 6 members, that team is performing a task together. They are learning together. They are being challenged together. They are growing as individuals together. That allows you, as a leader, to oversee where their growth is taking them. And with that, you can employ them to the best of their abilities. Because at the end of the day, leading becomes a people's business. Is you allowing to understand the skills and the limits of your team members in order to help them move forward and become that better version of them. All right? With that, you are educating, you are challenging, you are allowing them to grow. You're doing it genuinely, right? So now you develop trust from within the organization. With that trust, that culture of your organization now gains bottom-up refinement. As I mentioned in episode 1, your leader does not have to be your CEO. It may be your CEO. But at the smallest level of that team, that section, you're always going to have a leader. That leader has a voice. And you allowing them to speak up and know that their voice will be heard and understood allows them to grow even further and become better leaders in the future. Right? At the same time, you are allowing for a growth in loyalty. And I'm not talking about loyalty of, I'm not going to say anything if something goes wrong. I'm not going to do this, do X, Y, Z. Because sometimes loyalty gets misconstrued and taken into a negative, condescending meaning. I'm talking about loyalty from within the team. We talked about those 4 to 6 individuals that make up that team. Maybe more if you have a bigger section. But when you are leading them, they are learning together, they are growing together, they form a bond. That bond is their loyalty to one another. Why? Because they just learned that they can be challenged beyond their expectations. And as a team, they can succeed. Some may see it that success came from your leadership. And as I mentioned before, as a teacher, coach, and a mentor, you may become that parental figure to them. And that's what makes you a leader. Just think about that. You don't have to be the one calling yourself the leader of the pack. Your position allows you and gives you that leadership title. Yes, that might be true. But within that loyalty of the team, from the challenges that you have presented them, and how well you prepare them for the next task, they're going to see you as the actual leader that they see you as. And what does that look like? Maybe as simple as you show up to work in the morning and someone who's in a different section, or maybe your section, one of the teams that maybe not on site, nowhere near your office, that member goes out of their way because they just found out you showed up to work, and they go into your office or they run into you in the hallway on purpose to maybe just say good morning to you. Simple as that. Why do they seek to see you? Maybe because that physical interaction is the motivation they need that day to move forward and understand that they are part of something bigger. They might seek to see you because they want that interaction and they understand that you are going to say something that is going to inspire them. That's that loyalty piece. They believe and they know that everything you have done has made them better. You have challenged them. You have prepared them for what is next. They deep down inside know and understand that. Maybe they didn't believe in what they were accomplishing, but you gave them a purpose. You allowed them to believe and know and understand that their piece of the puzzle was more important than what they believed it was. They're going to be comfortable not just going up and saying good morning or good afternoon or whenever it is you show up to work. They're going to give you that proper greeting, but they're going to seek your guidance because they believe in you. Because you have challenged them beyond their beliefs. A bottom-up refinement allows you to gain that knowledge of what is working at the smallest level and what is not working at the smallest level. Now, what you do with that information can make it or break it. You take that information, use the bottom-up refinement method to better the culture of the organization. You allow the organization to succeed. You allow them to believe that you are listening. They know you care as much as they do. How you use that information is crucial and vital. But also what information you use will allow you to better the organization. But when you provide that purpose to that team, you listen. You understand what they are communicating to you. And then you teach and you coach onto why that is not possible maybe at the moment. Or maybe there's not a budget for that to fix that refinement piece that they are bringing to you. If you don't make it known that their efforts and their findings are vital to the organization, you're going to shut that door. You're going to create a wall between you and them. And now they are going to follow your lead because of your title and your position, not because they want to. That's a slippery slope that you as a leader need to watch out for. They respect you, who you are. They respect everything you are a part of, and you need to respect them the exact same way. Because when you fail to do so, you lose the art of leading. You lose the art of showing somebody that they can make an impact in society, in their team, in the organization, in their section, in their lives. And if you lose that, you have lost the art of leading. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you again on the next one. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And I appreciate all the feedback I've been getting from every single one of you. Thank you again. I'll see you next time.